All right, let's talk about one of the most incredible creative sprints in entertainment history. We're going to dive into how Charlie Chaplin took a nasty, mean-spirited character and turned him into a global symbol of humanity, and he did it all in just 2 years. It's an amazing story. Let's get right into it.
You know, it's kind of hard to wrap your head around this, but when Chaplin first threw on that iconic costume back in 1914, the character we all know and love, well, he just wasn't there yet. The look was there, sure, the silhouette was born, but the character, the guy with the heart and the soul, nope, not even close. That was still a year away. So how on earth did we get from there to here?
To really get why the first version of the Tramp was the way he was, you gotta picture the world he was born into. Early Hollywood was like the Wild West of filmmaking. There was no room for subtlety. It was just pure pedal-to-the-metal, high-speed chaos, and the comedies they were making reflected that perfectly.
So let's paint a picture, right? It's 1914. This incredibly talented vaudeville performer from England, Charlie Chaplin, he lands on a dusty, sun-baked lot in California, and he walks right into the middle of Max Sennett's Keystone Studios, which was the absolute epicenter of Fast and Furious silent comedy.
Think of Keystone as a comedy factory, just cranking out laughs. The only rule was make 'em laugh, and make 'em laugh now. We're talking nonstop chases, bricks to the head, guys getting knocked into pools. It was just boom, 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 aggressive, physical, and totally relentless.
And it's right in the middle of all this madness that the Tramp's look comes to be. But here's the thing. There was no master plan. It wasn't designed. It was a total accident, pure improvisation. A character literally thrown together from leftovers in the wardrobe department.
And this is the really cool part. He's told to just put on something funny. So he grabs these baggy pants, a coat that's way too tight, a tiny little derby hat, and these massive shoes, so big he had to wear them on the wrong feet just to keep them from falling off. Add that jaunty little bamboo cane, and all of a sudden you've got this amazing bundle of contradictions. Shabby but trying to be dignified, clumsy but strangely graceful. The look was pure genius, right out of the gate. The personality? Yeah, that was a whole other story.
Yeah, because the Tramp we first met in 1914, he wasn't the sweet, lovable guy we all think of. Not at all. He was a perfect product of that Keystone Chaos factory. A total rough-and-tumble character, built for that world.
I mean, this early version, he was often the bad guy. Seriously, he was sharper, meaner, a total drunken nuisance, always picking fights, kicking cops. He was basically a walking, talking agent of chaos whose only job was to stir up trouble so there could be a chase scene. That gentle, kind soul, absolutely nowhere in sight.
But then comes 1915, and this is the turning point. Chaplin leaves Keystone and moves to a new studio called S&I. And let me tell you, this move wasn't just a big deal for his career. It was a move that was going to change comedy forever.
Now, the first thing he got was a massive pay raise. He went from being just another comedian at Keystone to a bona fide star with a star's salary. But you know what? As great as the money was, it wasn't the most important thing he got out of that deal.
So if it wasn't just the cash, what did that money really buy him? What was the real game changer in that new contract?
One word: time. For the very first time in his film career, Chaplin wasn't on that frantic Keystone assembly line just churning out movies. He actually had the freedom to breathe, to slow down, to think about the story, and crucially, to really think about who this character was.
And you can see the result of that freedom right here. I mean, look at this contrast. It's night and day. In just a single year, the Tramp goes from being this nasty, chaotic brawler to a gentle, hopeful character. A guy infused with something that slapstick comedy had never really seen before: pathos.
So let's talk about that secret ingredient. What is this pathos? Well, it's the thing that took his comedy from just being a bunch of gags and turned it into actual timeless art.
Pathos is basically what makes you feel something for a character. It's what makes you care. You feel their sadness, their little moments of hope. You connect with their struggle. And what Chaplin did, and this was totally revolutionary, was he started mixing that real human feeling into his slapstick. He figured out that a pratfall could be more than funny. It could actually break your heart a little. And there's one specific film where this new guy, the real Tramp, finally shows up. It's from 1915, and it's called, you guessed it, The Tramp. You can basically see it as the moment the old Keystone brawler is put to rest, and the little fellow we all know is truly born.
The ending of that movie, wow. It became his signature move.
So the tramp, he falls in love, he helps a girl, but in the end, he loses her. He's just left all alone on this dusty road, totally heartbroken. And for a second, you see him just slump over, he's crushed. But then, he straightens up his shoulders, gives this little hop kick, and starts shuffling away down the road, toward the horizon. He's been beaten, but he's not broken. It just gets you right here. It's heartbreaking and somehow incredibly hopeful at the exact same time.
I mean, when you actually look at the timeline, it's just mind-blowing how fast this all happened. We're talking 2 years, 24 months. In that short time, he went from being a brand new face in a chaotic comedy factory to literally rewriting the rules of screen comedy and perfecting his most iconic creation.
So no, in those 2 years, Chaplin didn't just invent a funny little character. He crafted something way bigger. He created a universal symbol for resilience, for hope, for that whole bittersweet mess of just being human. He created the most recognizable human silhouette in history, a shape that anyone, anywhere on the planet could see and instantly understand.
And I think it all boils down to this one simple question that really captures his genius. Can a guy slipping on a banana peel make you cry? Before Chaplin, I mean, no way. The answer was just no. But after this unbelievable 2-year revolution, he proved to the entire world that the answer was absolutely yes.